for this episode of the Weird Obscure World podcast.
I have been abducted.
Wait, what?
All right, let me dig up Cameron Jeffrey Wilson.
Welcome to the show.
Yes, welcome.
Please like, rate, review, subscribe,
Share.
check out our website.
Interact.
Yeah.
Tell us your stories.
You can find our website by clicking on the Learn More button on Facebook. Learn More button at the top. Join our email list as we grow this. We're going to start including more push notifications and things.
Join Betsy's email list.
Yeah. it's ours.
Sure. She has full liberty to use my name in emails.
And when we
even at work, I haven't sent an email in
ever?
A long time.
They just assume, like, oh yeah, Jared's on board.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna also start including some swag, some merch,
yeah,
some merchandise, a little merch area that you guys can go check out as we kind of grow our repertoire in this weird world we live in.
Yeah, we have some T-shirts right now.
Yeah,
and
working on some other good stuff.
Yeah, we'll get some.
If we ever do get
blow
back
up
to
flying saucers. If
we ever do get back to, like, building a game and things, that's where it'll be.
Yeah, that's kind of stalled out. I think we're going to have to pull that back onto our shoulders now that the idea is there.
Yeah.
That's something we're going to have to do. But anyways.
Weird news. You're
on
first.
To the news. Yeah, so this news takes us up to Washington State. So Cameron Jeffrey Wilson. Why is it that three names, whenever you say the three names, it makes you sound like you're talking about a serial killer? Have you ever noticed that?
Okay, yeah.
It just seems like that's the way you do it. But old Cameron Jeffrey Wilson, 27, was carrying a pistol in his front pocket. He lives in Kashmir, Washington. On April 5th, the firearm discharged, shooting him in the testicle and then, passing through his testicle and going into his thigh.
Oh, Lord.
So anyway.
Now that's a bad day.
Wilson, a 13-time convicted felon.
Oh,
did I mention he was 27?
13 times?
And to carry 13 felons on your young 27-year-old body,
I would imagine it has slightly less effect than the slug that was implanted into his man stuff.
Definitely. But with any luck, he hit both of them, and he can't breathe now. But anyways, so he goes into the hospital, and he's laying on the phone, talking to his girlfriend on the phone, saying, "Don't tell them what happened,"
Geez.
And as the doctor's stitching his scrotum back up in his thigh, a bag of marijuana falls out of his sphincter, out of his butt. And just then the police show up.
And just then the day got worse.
What's that? So the police arrest him for the bag of drugs and the illegal carrying of a firearm, being a felon. And so they take him to the jail, and they do the inspection there, and another bag falls out of his butt.
And it's just marijuana?
Oh, that's what it says, marijuana.
Oh, geez.
Why are you putting bags of marijuana in your...
Yeah.
I mean, how big are the bags? I mean, and it's Washington. Isn't Washington legal?
Yeah, what size of bags are we talking about?
Why
are you sphinctering them?
Yeah, and it says marijuana, which confused me a little bit as well, but and then when they searched his house, so he had the marijuana in his butt. I'm wondering if he didn't get confused. Sorry. When they went and searched his house and dug through his pants, there was a bag of meth just in a pocket. So I'm wondering if he didn't mean to put the illegal substance in his fourth point of contact, and the marijuana just in his pocket.
Okay, so this poor guy shoots himself.
This genius shoots himself in the nut, and then the thigh, and hides his marijuana, his legal.
Okay, so before or after he shot himself?
It doesn't say when
She's
he
just
hit it.
walking around keystering drugs, like
Keystering marijuana,
like
but pocketing the meth.
like some of us do our daily check, like glasses check, keys.
No, you
check,
don't do that.
Keister check.
Here soon, I can open up a glasses shop for you, because every time you come over, you leave a pair over here.
But I remember to bring them.
Okay, and then when you leave my house, you go, forget it.
Whatever, I'll get them later.
You know, I'm gonna get one of them little glasses stands you see in a shop and just start putting them on that. Yeah, little glasses
So you
on
could
each,
spin it and
or
pick
the
a
mirror on each corner. But yeah, so the meth was in the pocket of his bloody jeans,
pair. Okay, so
but the legal stuff was in his keister.
Okay, I need to know for my ability to rest tonight. Did he keister this
After he shot himself?
after he shot himself because he didn't want to get caught with it and maybe got mixed up then?
It does not say.
Because
It
I
does
would
not
think
say.
I would think if you had just shot yourself
But
in your man stuff,
you're at your
that
house.
you're not thinking about keystering.
You're at your house when you've got a plethora. Okay, you're at your apartment probably. You've got a plethora of hiding places.
So he shot himself in his own apartment.
At his door, like going up the stairs, walking into his. I'm picturing like those apartments where you walk down like a middle kind of open hallway up to the third level, and the doorways go off to the left or right.
Okay.
That's what I'm picturing. It doesn't show his apartment. That's just what's in my mind.
Okay.
And I'm picturing like he hits that last step, lifts up, maybe pats himself to make sure he has the
Lord.
keys, pinches the trigger, boom, his life flashes before his eyes. There's blood and hair on it. And so like he limps and screams and curses into his house. And if he did keister it then, now as a felon, I don't know what the rules are with felons and having marijuana.
I don't know, but I think it runs second fiddle to the fact that you just shot yourself in your man stuff.
Yes, I do know that guns.
I mean, throw it.
Guns when you're a felon. Well,
Plausible deniability.
To think he's bleeding, limping, kind of getting weak in the knees, maybe a little lightheaded, reaches into his pocket, pulls the baggie out, and then hand goes down the back of his pants, and then you see him kind of give one of them one eye squints.
No, I don't want that.
And then maybe just one side, he just grits his teeth and you hear a little. And so then he reaches in and gets the second bag. And maybe he's thinking, you know.
I don't get it.
Maybe he doesn't want to look down. Look, we just solved it. He doesn't want to look down. You just shot yourself right in the junk. He doesn't want to see the massacre that just happened down beneath the belt. So he's looking up. So he's just randomly grabbing what's in his pocket. And it's kind of slimy and greasy because there's blood and semen on it. You know, because he shot himself in the nut. And he's just reaching back. I'll bet it slid in a lot easier with the blood and semen on it.
No.
And he just, and then reaches in. And so he puts two bags, you know, in himself, thinking, hoping to himself, I hope one of those is the meth. I kind of hope it's the first one. But, you know, no, it's the one he left in his pants. Because then he probably lost all energy, all will to live, and just like limped into the house, laid on the floor. And he's like, no, don't take him off. I don't want to see. And his girlfriend's like, we got to see. You might be dying. I'm calling the police. No, don't call. Or the ambulance. Don't call them. And he's rolling around and she pulls him off. Is it still there? And yeah, shot himself
But
away.
why wouldn't you just throw your drugs?
Right in the
I mean, you're right there. You could retrieve them later, get into the house, stick them under the couch.
That's true. That's true.
I don't get it.
Well, he could have just handed him to his girlfriend.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't get it.
Yeah. Anyways, Mr. Wilson, genius.
Genius. List of geniuses. You are right there at the top, man. Okay, mine. What do you know about cheese?
Cheese is bacteria-based milk stuff.
Very good. So there are several types of bacteria.
Oh, some of those cheeses. Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, you could gag a maggot with some of the cheeses.
Well.
And like, what special bacteria do they get that from? That's the stuff that you scrape out of the inside of a sports helmet.
Well, let me tell you. Headline reads, "This human cheese is made from celebrity skin bacteria." So if you've ever wanted to eat cheese made from Heston Blumenthal's crotch.
Who's Heston Blumenthal?
I don't know, but I don't want to eat his cheese.
And that is straight up famunda.
Or Ruby Tando's nose, now's your chance.
Nose?
Yeah. Nose cheese.
Like we're going for like the Green Goblin?
The Green Goblin cheese? I don't know. This story grossed me out. One, because I like cheese. I just don't like the thought of cheese.
Yeah, it's called cheddar, Swiss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where the cultures are lactose bacteria and none of the weird like blue cheese bacteria.
I like a blue cheese with my hot wings.
So most cheese is made using starter cultures.
Did you ever remember Great Grandpa Piesnel, that cheese he would eat?
It was
it Limburger cheese?
Yeah, it smelled like feet.
No, it smelled like dead things.
Oh.
And he would get like a package of it and just shave it off with his knife and eat the crumbles of it.
That's terrible.
That is an acquired taste. I tried a little bit once.
So
I still taste it today. I was like, we're talking 30 years later, 40 years later.
You still have it. It leaves a memory.
Yeah.
Ooh. So normally this bacteria is kind of a byproduct of the cheese making process, and it's spread amongst other cheese. Well, somebody had this, good hell, some nasty person had this idea.
Bought some used celebrity underwear.
No, making some truly funky cheese by swabbing the bacteria that's commonly found, in the genital area, the belly button.
So there's famunda cheese for real.
Up the nose, yeah. So
the nose, is that like in the crook or is that in the chasm?
It would have to be in the chasm. Our noses collect all the bacteria that we breathe in.
Some bug cheese?
Oh, God.
Some
Okay, hang on. I'm just going to read this because it was hard for me to read it.
You kept going?
I must know. This is all for research, people.
Well, I've heard. Have you heard about the new fad of ladies making beer and bread from their yeast?
Yeah. Well.
Okay. Is yeast that prevalent down there? And how do you get it? And what is it like when you flick it into the...
No.
Like, do you start mixing the flour and
Nope.
stuff, and then you just see her go down the pants and then come out? And...
No. No.
How does that work?
We can't talk about that.
How does that work?
That's grossing me out.
Does she have her marital aid in there stirring it in it?
Oh.
How does that work? And does it rise?
I don't know. I don't want to know.
And when you make beer out of it, is it a malt style?
I didn't want to know
use
this
a pressurized
story.
system?
I don't want to know.
And now we get to share it with all of you.
Oh, God. So you might hope that this is a one-off. No, this is just the most recent iteration of human cheese.
People have done this?
Yes. There was an inspiration.
Is there any cheese?
There was a project called Self-Made back in 2013, which bacteria was swabbed from Michael Pollan's belly button and artist Olafur Ellison's tears.
Who are these people?
I don't know. I don't want to eat their cheese. I don't care who they are.
So like Angelina Jolie's bottom lip cheese.
And the writer for Motherboard once used vaginal bacteria to make yogurt.
There it is.
And then he actually ate it. Oh. Anyway.
Whose essence did he use?
It's too much. All of this is too much. I don't want to make cheese out of anything that comes off of my body. And I don't want to eat cheese made from other anythings that come off of anybody else. And this idea grosses me out so much so that I may stop eating cheese altogether. I may swear off cheese for all eternity.
Get a public hair in your cheese.
God, I can't handle it. Why would you take something that is so beautiful on tacos and make me think that it could possibly come from belly button bacteria or between the toes?
Ooh,
or worse
there it
yet.
is.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Best diet ever. Makes you want to cut cheese out immediately.
Let's think. We should make like a list of the most heinous
Types
person and location on said person.
Oh, God.
Like, not to disparage the dead, but like say Dom DeLuise and Third Fat Roll Cheese.
Oh, Lord.
Or
what do you think that cheese would look like?
I don't know. And how do you get it? Do you just get like a tongue depressor?
And lift it
up a little bit and just scrape out some some
schmegma.
Yeah, it looks like earwax as it's coming out. Oh, it's getting kind of hard. And you pull it out, right? And then you take some milk. And I don't know how to make cheese, but like you slide it off in there, wearing gloves, of course, because, we're hygienic here.
We want to be sanitary.
Yes. And you slide it off in there and stir it in.
It's not right.
Watch it grow.
That's not right.
Make a big will out of.
Oh, God. A giant.
Who else we got? You got to throw out a name.
Third Fat Roll Cheese. No, I can't. I'm done. The cheese thing. Strange world we live in.
We'll get a board right here and we'll start writing it up. I could think of some good ones. like
I can't handle it.
Britney Spears. Yeah, just right there off the taint after a concert cheese.
Ew. No. Nope. Cheese no more. That's it. Cheese is out. I'm going to find a new love of my life. Human cheese. Stop it, humans. You don't have to.
What if like there's a
you don't have to ruin
cure
everything
in one of these cheeses?
Don't even start. There could be.
Well, I know some beers.
There could be. We're all made of bacteria.
Some beer is made in open vats to let bacteria mix in there. Makes your creamier beers.
Creamy beer?
Well,
that's gross.
Your Belgium style beer.
Oh.
It's just creamy. It just has a creamier texture to it.
Oh.
Kind of.
Well.
It's not, creamy like cheese. Pre-cheese.
Good hell. Anyway, weird news.
Yep. All right. I got to open up my...
Weird news, weird people. Human cheese and keistering. Stop it. Stop. Anyway.
I'm just wondering if did he keister before he got
That's what
shot
I need to
or
know.
after?
That's either way is retarded.
The story
like you're just walking around with it keistered?
I'll bet nobody has that answer right now because he probably didn't. I'm
sure nobody's asking. They don't care like we care.
Oh, I'm sure they asked. And I'm sure he thought to himself, which one gets me in less trouble? I don't know why he cares, 13 felons at 27.
I don't know why he cares because he just shot himself in his man stuff.
Shot him right in the nut.
There are more important things going on.
Nut. And then he has to go to prison. Big old Band-Aid stuck right on his junk.
Too much.
And the doctor, the stitches look goofy because, the doctor, probably had a little bit of a giggle as he was sewing. But then when that bag fell out, the doctor starts laughing. And next thing you know, the stitches go off the scar.
It's too much. Anyway.
All right.
Today's main event.
So
let's get to it.
A few weeks back when I watched that Ted Bundy show, what's it called? vile, horrible,
evil, monstrous.
yeah.
It was all adjectives.
Yeah. They show in there that that lady that loved him, right? And married him and then got pregnant by him and everything else. And then I remember hearing about some other, we all know Charles Manson, has a sultry history with being
Sultry.
married in jail.
I love that. Sultry.
And that Nicholas Cruz has had, or should I say festered hemorrhoid, sorry people, has had something like 1,500 love letters sent to him in the year since he's gone in. So I that got me to thinking, what causes the people to fall in love with inmates? So I just got to rooting around,
Yeah, like.
And there's a book written about it. A psychologist did a study on it. But throughout the years, women have been attracted to men behind bars. In fact, California's serial killer Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker.
Oh, he was a terrible person.
Yeah.
He was not even remotely debonair or suave. He was a horrible person.
Uh-huh.
And his crimes were horrible.
Uh-huh. Chuck Manson.
Now, Charles had a different kind of vibe to him.
Scott Peterson that killed his wife and
Total
unborn child.
Completely douchey.
Mm-hmm. So, we've got some dating websites, if you will.
I've
We
heard
have
of these.
prisonpenpals.com.
For those not looking for serious relationships, just want to have a pen pal.
Convictmailbag.com.
Oh, that one sounds terrible.
Meetaninmate.com. Huh? Now, I know that at one time you mentioned I should jump on there, but let's face it, my track record, I'd be married.
You'd be like, I'm sorry, I can't podcast today. I'm on my way down to the prison.
Yeah. Going to the prison and we're going.
You would be married.
Oh,
maybe that's where she's at.
Just
Jared.
think we could have that one-ply toilet paper being strung around the visitor center.
Normally, you have to have a stand-in.
What do you mean?
For marriages, they don't actually physically get to be a part of the ceremony.
How does that work?
Just by like giving away your power of attorney and.
So a lawyer comes in.
Yes.
You write down a document that says
I do.
Someone else can look like or pretend they're me for the 7 minutes to say I do.
Yeah.
Huh. Throw rice.
Maybe
pudding.
it's already happened, Jared. You don't even know it.
I have not signed anything from a lawyer like that. I don't.
No, but what if somebody has on your behalf?
Oh man.
Anyway, back to your story.
Oh. So Sheila Eisenberg, she wrote a book, Women Who Love Men Who Kill. In the book, she says the real crux of the whole thing is that these men are all. Sorry. The real crux of the whole thing is that these are all women who are damaged. In their early years, they have been abused by their parents, their fathers, their first husbands, their boyfriends, whatever. They've been sexually abused, psychologically, emotionally abused. These are women who've been hurt, and when you're in a relationship with the man in prison, he's in prison. He's not going to hurt you. He can't hurt you. So it puts them in a state of control. And it allows them to safely manage their interaction. So if they don't want to talk to him, they can hang up. They can leave. They can walk out. He can't reach across the table and choke him and tell him, you burnt the lasagna, any of that. So it sounds like it's a feudal grab at control.
Is she arguing that this is a good thing?
No.
Because I would argue that words create more vulnerability than actions, and that these predatory-like skills are being used on these women who are vulnerable through these websites.
It could be. It could be.
And you see that with the one prison guard who broke out that prisoner who brought him a file, left her husband.
Yeah.
I mean,
that was straight up like she should have baked a cake and had it in a cake.
She should have. It was.
That was.
I agree. I agree. It was cheesy as shit, but okay. So she's not arguing that this is a good thing.
No, she's just stating, like, she's a psychologist, I think, and studied it.
So she's just telling you the facts of the study.
What she's figured out, you know. And I mean, I don't know. I couldn't imagine, well, one, being in prison. I couldn't imagine dating someone in prison. Now that I've said that and I try out one of these websites, my future wife, I love you dearly. I hope your cellmate is treating you right. But the thing is, she's saying you're free. Where in their relationships, they may have been trapped. They're now the one that's free. Like they've got the ultimate freedom to come and go, to contact as they want.
I would argue that's absolutely the opposite.
Would too.
These women are tethered to these people behind bars.
They are.
I have to be home to answer the phone call. I have to send money. I would argue
they
that
don't have to, though. Say something that pisses them off. Your commissary card's going to be awful limpy.
I don't think that's the case.
Well, I don't know. I'll bet it's different between all of these nuptial
because I would argue that if they had found their ability to manage that level of control, they wouldn't need to have people in prison to exercise it.
Okay. Now, they haven't found that ability. They stumbled into a situation that gives them the ability. That's not them having the ability to say, put their foot down on their life. That's them stumbling into a situation where that exists without them having to put the effort into building the character. Not that that's always the case, because, you know, men are a lot stronger than women and more brutal, but it's a safer way for them to have that than putting their foot down, you know, or then for them to put the pre-selection in to ensure they find a husband that is a safe husband, which even then, that's not a guarantee. You hear all the time about the normal, quiet, good guy that loses his mind and, you know, goes crazy. So I don't know.
What's the patronage to these websites? Is it huge?
I'll tell you when I get on there.
Depending on how much competition you have.
I mean, you'll have to ask me quick, though. I'm thinking 8 minutes.
You'll be married.
I'll be driving down the road, point of the mountain. Do they have women at the point of the mountain, or do I have to travel out of state?
No, they have a women's facility.
Okay. All right. But yeah, so it says in here, you know, the women can decide when they go visit him, whether or not to accept his phone calls, whether to give him money, whatever. So it's kind of, she states,
they feel powerful.
The cons are manipulative, but she states these women are manipulative also. They can manipulate the situation. It gives them more control over how this situation comes out. Which it's safe for them. It's safe for the women. So I'm not going to disagree with it. I mean, at first when I came into this, I was like, that's craziness. And now I'm like, I get it.
So what do you think in return? What do you think they're giving these inmates in return?
What are they giving these inmates?
Yeah.
The inmates have nothing. So anything they get's, you know.
Just connection.
It's what are they getting from the inmates that's confusing me. And I think it's the status of having a relationship but not having maybe the negative parts of the relationship they're used to.
Yeah, but
Some people inherently have to have a relationship. How many people do you know cannot function single?
Yeah, it's true. That's true.
I don't know anyone.
We are.
Well, okay, I know maybe 4 or 5 people that actually can function single. And I'm not talking just financially hold their lives together. Right. I'm talking feeling like they're okay.
Yeah.
And not a lot of people can. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing.
So maybe that's what they get in return is it just fills that cup.
Yeah, they're in that relationship.
They're in a relationship.
Yep.
But there's such a stigma. I'm sure they're not like, oh my gosh, look who I'm dating.
Wait until we go through some of the who's.
Okay.
That's coming up here in a
Let's
bit.
do this.
But yeah, she goes on, they're from different backgrounds.
I know. Some lawyers.
Yeah, psychologists.
Some lawyers have left their families
mm-hmm.
to marry people that are on death row.
So I wrote like 5 pages for this. I was proud of myself, but I'm not going to read all of it. But we're going to go through some names.
Okay, I'm ready.
Some of the who's. All right, we'll get down there. Okay. Well, good old Chuck Manson, 80 years old, married 26-year-old Elaine Burton in 2014. He robbed the cradle. She managed, I don't know if she does now, like all of his websites. I haven't been on charlesmanson.com, but I'm going there soon.
So, she's so broken.
Oh, that household was safe and secure, and Uncle Daddy did not touch her in the backside. Susan Atkins. She was one of Chuck's family members. Married self-described multimillionaire Donald Lee Lazier in 81, and then quickly annulled it when she found out he wasn't a millionaire. She just wanted the money. There's even gold digger ladies in prison.
Okay.
But she went on to marry James Whitehouse, 15 years younger than her.
What did she do? What's her crime?
Susan Atkins was in on the...
with Charles.
She was in on the La Bianca murder. See, okay. Charlie wasn't there. She was in on it. Cutting a baby out of it.
I was trying to connect those dots.
Yeah. Tex Watson.
Okay.
Another one of the family guys. Married Kristen Jones Svedge. Yeah. Svedge. Not Savage, not Savage.
Svedge.
Svege. Svedge. In 79. Fathered 4 children.
While he's in prison?
Yes. But in 1996, California Department of Corrections banned conjugal visits for lifers. But he knocked 4 kids out of the park before then. Okay. Sorry, guys. Ted Bundy married Carol Ann Boone. Twice divorced mother of 2. Who dated him before his initial arrest. Now, that's the lady in the
That's
movie.
depicted in the movie, yeah.
Yeah. Now, she was smuggling stuff to him prior to his escape. Smuggled cash to him. His escape from the courtroom in Colorado, in Aspen. So she was smuggling cash to him. And then she married him in court, apparently, just like the movie shows, pronounce you man and wife in front of a judge while he's on trial. And then Boone gave birth to a daughter in 1982. Now imagine being a young girl who has to say your father is Ted Bundy.
Mm.
And I talked to someone yesterday whose aunt was a victim of Ted Bundy, and I'll tell you about it after the show. Richard Ramirez married freelance magazine editor Doreen Leoy. Yeah. She was a magazine editor and caught the guy, and I love him.
I don't get that.
Lyle Menendez. Remember the Menendez
Oh,
brothers? Yeah. He married a model, Anna Erickson, and then she found out he was writing other women. He was cheating on her from in prison.
That bastard.
Hold the phone.
Oh, I'm sure it happens all the time.
Hold the phone. He's got like multiple, and then he married another woman, magazine editor Rebecca Sneed, and now she's an attorney.
Lyle Menendez?
Yep. Eric Menendez married pen pal Tammy Secoman in a Folsom Prison waiting room. And his marriage is still successful. Good job, Eric. Success in love. Kenneth Bianchi, Hillside Strangler. There are two of them, the cousins.
Right.
Married Christine Kazuka while she was visiting her husband and father of her 3 children, who spent 5 months in a jail cell. That was Angelo, the other Hillside. Okay. Kenneth Bianchi married pen pal Shirley Joyce Book, who reportedly tried to woo Ted Bundy before moving on to Bianchi. So she was trying to hook up with Ted.
She was serial killer hopping.
But Ted was already, he was being an honest husband.
He was pretty solid in his relationship.
Was she sitting at home just going through the who's who of serial killers behind bars?
I can't imagine. See, because that to me, all of this to me, goes beyond prison love. These people are very well known for the horrific things that they have done. And
do you think it's a grasp at a scotch of fame, or?
God, I don't know. Because I can't imagine wanting to invite someone who's perhaps there was a time in their lives that they weren't that vile, but their acts have defined who they have become. And inviting someone into my life who is that vile, although the intrigue to understand them would be there, to be in a relationship with them.
You know what would be even
no
worse?
Way.
Imagine you're the kid of one of these people. Imagine your mom or dad says, I'm leaving your father
to be with Ted Bundy.
And then you go, but why, Mommy? Because I've fallen in love with another man. And you're little. Who's that? Ted Bundy. And it probably doesn't dawn on you who that is for a couple of years till you're a little older. And then you've got to sit and go, is something in my genes? Is there crazy people?
It's nuts.
Yeah.
It's nuts because it goes beyond the initial traumatized woman to something that's next level.
It's insanity.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there's a lot more. So then that Angelo Buono, the other Buono Jr., the other Hillside Strangler, Christine Kazuka, so he goes into jail for, 5 months in jail. His wife comes to visit, falls in love with your cellmate, and then leaves you. They've got 3 kids together. Oscar Ray Brolin. Sorry. Mr. Brolin's an actor. The Butcher, married over the phone. Thank you, operator. He married his public defender, Rosalie Martinez.
You hear that a lot.
Mother of 4. Wife of a prominent attorney. Now, she destroyed her life doing this. She couldn't be an attorney anymore, all that.
Holy cow.
And then you got Bath Vikernes. He was a Norwegian heavy metal guy.
Uh-huh.
Started like his one-man band. What did he do? I think he burned someone alive, but then went to France and started burning buildings down in France.
Just a pyro?
There's like a whole deal behind the Norwegian black metal. I don't know.
The movement.
Those boys, they needed Boy Scouts. Now, Nicholas Cruz is receiving stacks of fan mail. Stacks. So, and that's just like the quick dig up.
Jeez.
Like the most notables. You see all the time where...
Well, and those are not just the most notable, but they're the most well-known. So...
Yeah, the most well-known.
And their acts are so vile that you would think people would, just because of that want
people
no contact with them.
Recoil from.
Yes.
Like me, I don't know how I would feel if I had the opportunity to interview a serial killer. I don't know if I'd...
Well, I think that's different because you're interviewing them.
Yeah.
Is an inquiry into them. You're not wanting a relationship with them. These women...
I think talking to Ed Kemper would be interesting.
I think talking to any of them would be interesting.
Ed Kemper would be interesting because he's an open guy and he's real open about what he did and what caused. I think Ed Kemper would be a shocking revelation into the mind of crazy. But, but I don't even know if I'd want to go in there to interview one of them. Yeah, we may have this little show where every once in a while we drift into their neck of the woods, but I don't want to know them.
Personally, right.
I've got, I don't know, but maybe. It was shocking when I looked into it. It wasn't that, when I first started looking into it, I thought, man, there's probably a few out there. No, it's all of them. All of them have a woman who has a romantic interest. The one where she's a public defender, married to one of the top lawyers, and leaves her husband, leaves her security and her kids to be with a serial killer. I don't get it. I'm confused.
Makes me question the idea of soulmates. Maybe
I've always
they're able to look past it because there's this strange connection and they're soulmates.
I'm going to rewrite that song, Going to the Chapel.
Going to the prison.
What if I did it? I'll do it a cappella, 4 people. I'll do all the voices of all the people. I'll do the harmony and the lead. What else is there? I don't know anything about singing. I'm a horrible singer.
Your backup dancers.
Ooh, I'll do all that.
Yeah.
I'll just dress in different clothes and then superimpose myself on a green screen.
Yes.
I can dig it.
It'd be great. You know who I'd like to interview instead of these serial killers? I would like to interview these women. I want to understand, why they stopped at that point. What in their life devalued them so much that that's as good as it gets for them?
Yeah.
Because I think you can be friends with people who have done horrible things.
Yeah.
You can be friendly to them because that's more of a manifestation of who you are than it is of them. But to be in a relationship with these people is next level. That's next level. Because you're opening up these pathways that are so personal and so intimate with these people who... Richard Ramirez, that's shocking. And a magazine editor...
Yeah, remember that when we showed him in the courtroom?
Yeah.
Yeah. Be good to your kids.
How do you reconcile that?
Be good to your kids.
Yeah, we have to remember that Richard Ramirez wasn't born that way. He was created.
Yeah, but still.
I'm
talking about for the wives, first of all. Let's start with the innocent people, as innocent goes. The not serial killers. Be good to your daughters.
Oh, man.
And then we'll move into, definitely, we should move into be good to your sons first so you don't make little serial killers. But, let's go with Ted Bundy. What was his childhood like? What was his experience? We understand Charles Manson's was insane.
Sure.
His mom was a bag of shit, and the closest thing he ever had to a caring family member was his uncle, who was a lifelong criminal.
Sure.
He had no chance.
I think that we need to recognize that perception is reality. And however you perceive the world is your reality, and you base your decisions on that. Not how it actually is, but how you perceive it to be. And what if Ted Bundy's perception is because his brain was broken? And so he was unable to perceive things in a manner that was conducive or inducive of him being a good human. What if his perception, and I don't think we can control, no, I know we can't control other people's perception. I mean, and if your perceptive, I don't know, computer within your brain that takes that perception and breaks it apart is broken.
Maybe he fell off his bike at the ripe age of 8 and got brain trauma. And
who knows?
Because his whole focus was...
And from everything we've heard, he didn't have a terrible, horrible, no good childhood.
I don't know. I started watching that kind of documentary on him, and I just couldn't get through it all.
Yeah.
I'm not a fanboy. His charisma I thought was cool, his boldness of jumping out that window, but I'm still not a fanboy.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I am either. I try not to be a fan of or dive deep into any of those types of people. I could never be someone who breaks down and only, does informative podcasts or podcasts like ours on serial killers. Like you said, we dip our toe into it.
I do this because it's fun, not because I really want to
get to know them.
Because this is fun, and it's
I don't
fun
want to get to know them.
It's fun to study and explore these subjects, And for the show, I would definitely interview a lunatic.
Yeah.
So there'd be 2 lunatics on the show then. But for the show, I would definitely interview one. But just to do it, I don't see myself doing it.
Yeah.
Maybe we could find a woman serial killer to interview. You'd have to hold me back. Make me sign a pre-clause not to marry her or something.
Amen. You don't have to tell the people that know you about that. We already know that.
But anyways, so that's the show. Just I think my takeaway.
Let us know what you think.
My big takeaway from this is be good to your daughters and your sons and everyone. Remember, as a parent, you're raising a person.
Yes.
So treat them as you would a person.
There's a study that Bruce Lipton did on how our ideals and our theology and things, not religious, but I guess religious as well, is formed. And he stated that between the ages of birth and 7 years old, we're in somewhat of a state of hypnosis. We're watching, listening, taking in, absorbing, programming. Spend that precious time taking care of these little humans.
Yeah.
So that these websites need to go away. I think it's distracting.
The women that leave their husband and kids to be with someone. Now, okay, granted, maybe their husbands are horrible. Maybe, I don't know.
So jump out of the pot and into the fire?
You can
My husband didn't pick up his socks. I'm going to go marry the Menendez brother.
You can leave your husband. Well, the other Menendez brother has a very successful marriage now.
Okay, and then on the flip side, listen, if y'all are having trouble finding a wife,
yes,
you can do this too.
Let's
if
call
you
out
go
the
to prison.
websites again. Okay.
No, if you do horrible acts and you end up in prison, it is likely that you will find a mate.
What if we have inmates that listen to us?
Oh, a little shout out.
So this could be for everyone. prisonpenpals.com. Okay. Convict Mailbag. Convictmailbag.com. And meet an inmate. There's also one in Canada. I didn't cover the Canada one, but there's like CanadaInmateLove.com or something. So it's everywhere.
It's too much.
Everywhere. So yes, if you want that bad boy, but not the bad touch, find yourself an inmate. Yeah.
Too much.
Yeah.
It's too much.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
Another
If
week.
anyone has experience with this,
Oh my goodness.
yes. Oh,
Please message us.
I would like to interview a lady or a guy who's reached out to an inmate and built a relationship.
I want to understand.
I would ask more tell me about your past relationships. Because I would like to have either this lady study into their trauma previous, validated, or invalidated.
Interesting.
Oh, all right.
Interesting. Thanks for joining.
Thanks for listening.
Have a great week.
Yes.